Alrighty. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Hangout number 234. Uh, this is, I have to say, being a technology evangelist, I struggle to figure this thing out. Running the Hangout from two different accounts and then trying to stream it, hook it up, get everything connected and working. This is fun. It's awesome. It's great. So excited to just be here with you all and actually to be here with audio this time. So hopefully this will work out well. Let's see if I'm actually going to do a confirmation because I so desperately need to know that audio is working. But yeah, let's see. Let me ping somebody really quick um, to just check. And see, this is the funniest thing ever. But it's the awesome piece of it, and it's something that you know what at the end of the day, you got to sit back and laugh and be like, man, definitely struggled to bring this thing out, but it works. So with that being said, give me a second. I'm gonna run everything through. And he just happens to be in a meeting. So give me 1 second and let me see if I can find another person to check this out. If I can find there we go. All right, so I'm going to pretend that I do have audio and I'm going to talk to you and see how this thing goes. But again, thanks for everyone that's been a part of the Hangout life. Thank you all for what you've been doing. Um, Thank you for checking on that. All right, cool. So have audio. Great. Thanks. Good friends out there that can tell you that you're doing something right or wrong. All right, so let's get this thing started. We're gonna do this is a live October 5th post Ignite update. This is gonna be huge. It's gonna be awesome. But what we're gonna do this Nintex Hangout Live. What we usually do with these segments or these sessions is I review some brand new stuff, some interesting news and what's happening around Nintex. Also, usually go through and talk about any new features, updates have come from Nintex. Go through Q&A from the community, showcase a topic or two, and then usually do a wrap up, or that's at least the new format coming. Um, However, today, because we're doing a post Ignite update and are looking at things from that perspective, I'm going to run it just a tad bit differently. Um, and we'll try to see how we can get things going from there. So, if you can bear with me, I'll get my computer together and we will start. Um, we'll start sharing information and getting you uploaded. All right. So first off, let's look at what happened at Ignite for Nintex. There we go. I can get that going. Um, well, with Nintex, one of the things that happened, we heard about, or it was more widely broadcasted, the Nintex Workflow Cloud Advanced Preview. And with that being said, let me bring up that page. Nintex Workflow Cloud Advanced Preview. So if you've been following Nintex for a while, you've heard about it. Nintex Workflow Cloud is our cloud capability. It is what we do best, what we're known for. Is us out there in the cloud. We are building our own workflow engine, our own workflow process tool, cloud-based, and the entire intent of it is to give you extensibility outside of the SharePoint ecosystem, not giving you something different to use in SharePoint is to extend outside. So taking some of the learnings that we've had, the complexities that we bring to workflow management, you could do SharePoint Designer, you could do Visual Studio Code, C#.net. You can do those things, and that would enable you to do something within the context of SharePoint. You could do something on SQL, etc., or you could do custom code. But Nintex gave you that visual capability, drag and drop, to do workflow. Taking that, what we did there, SharePoint, Office 365, and now we're building something completely separate on It's on the cloud. That's basically the best way to say it. Nintex Workflow Cloud. It gives you the ability to connect to other SaaS systems. So whether it be Dropbox Box, you can connect to other on on-premise systems that have internet connectivity, whether it be SAP, Oracle, OpenText, Workday, NetSuite, etc. We're giving you that ability, and what we're doing is we're bringing that the intuitiveness of our workflow designer into a cloud format so that you can quickly connect, extending what you want to do. And some of the earlier stages of the examples and use cases are around like just simple approvals or being able to do business processes in other systems. And if you think about a business system or a business process, rather, you think about something that touches sales and deals with invoicing. And most systems, you have these larger systems. They use QuickBooks, they use Great Plains, or something of the sort, and that's one system, and then they have their users are interacting with another system, SAP or whatever, and then their vendors are interacting with another system or another product altogether. They may not have access to, definitely don't have access to SAP or Great Plains, but they may be using the SharePoint, or they may be using Dropbox or Box or whatever to host their invoices, whatever. And you want to tie all that together within a business process. What this enables you to do is to automate that, to design that entire business process, how you want it to connect, what events do you want to trigger to start a workflow, to create some kind of business process that's automated. How do you want to trigger that? Whether you can use a start form, a public web form, an anonymous form, you want to use a form that's built inside of SAP or Salesforce, whatever, to kind of trigger that data. We have events that are listening to that, automating all that through. And I just went completely technical there, but you get the point. It's really easy to use. The whole point of it is it's in advanced preview. That's all I was trying to say. Get out there. You can go to nintex.com /workflow dash platform /workflow Nintex Workflow Cloud, and I'll tweet that out. It's going to be something that you want to use. Actually, why don't I tweet it right now? See if I can do that. Why? Because it's so awesome, and I can do that. Yes, I can, and therefore I will. Check out the Nintex. Oh, is this giving me the right one? It is. Yep. Check out the Nintex Digital Workflow Automation platform. Available. Oops. Let's see here. So I'm doing this live and never do stuff like this live. I'm going in Advanced Preview today. Never do stuff like this live, right? But could do that. Grabbing some other stuff. Let's make this digital workflow automation. Why not? And let's tweet it. Cool. See, just tweeted it out. There. Now you can follow me. You can get a new update, find out about Advanced Preview, and continue going from there. Efficiency. It's awesome. That's how we do it. Okay, but so that was one of the things that came out, or what we were really pushing hard at Ignite this past year, this past conference, past week rather. And a lot of people, a lot of people are Microsoft people. They're either trying to do something on-prem or 365, and it's like, wait, what is this workflow cloud? I do custom code with that, or I usually hire a developer and they do something in Azure or AWS, on the server, so creating a web server and, using REST API to do that. And it's like, well, what is this workflow cloud? Well, it's taking the same capabilities of Nintex, what you do today, like I said, and it extends it outside of that. So really cool, really exciting to see that, and definitely sign up for Advanced Preview. Gives you the ability to kind of get in there, play with it, give us some feedback right directly inside the product. You can give us some feedback, let us know what you think about the product, let you know what you think about what the connectors you can use. Today we have DocuSign in there, NetSuite, we have Salesforce is in there. Trying to think what else we have. We have Dropbox in there as well. Yeah, just a couple of those things in there. Well, not a couple. Those are the things I can remember that we have available that you can start automating some things with. For example, if you look at Dropbox or Box, it doesn't really have a lot of approval processes in it, but that's something that we want to enhance. We want to bring to the ability for you as a user to be able to do more advanced, complex workflow process within a SaaS-based system. So we're creating that for you. So definitely get out there and check that out. I'm going to flip back over to my presentation so that I don't get lost in what I am doing. Um, what else came out this week at Ignite? Ah, can't forget that. Obviously, sitting right in front of me, so I'll show you. One of the things right before Ignite, worked really hard on Zapier. Did an integration that came out where you can actually do external starts from Zapier. And let me show you what some of that is. External starts from Zapier, if I can pull that up. I have it somewhere around here. Let's see here. Here we go. So external starts from Zapier. So with Nintex and Zapier, the integration was pretty cool. Something I wrote a blog on it. You can definitely check that out. It's available on the community. It's under the tech blog section. But what it enables you to do in a real snippet is to take an event from another system. For example, we have Zendesk, Salesforce, OneDrive, and Dropbox here. Take an event that happens. Take OneDrive or Dropbox. You upload a file, and again, you have no idea of knowing. I mean, it'll give you a ping, say, "Hey, new file uploaded," notification, but you can't really do nothing. But then you have to turn around and do something else. You got to send an email to someone else, or you got to say, "Hey, manager, can you approve this? Got this thing uploaded from a vendor," something of that sort. What we are now able to do is take a workflow that you've built in SharePoint on premise, and we can say, okay, based on this event that happened outside of SharePoint, we can trigger a workflow on SharePoint to start some kind of process to do whatever you want to do. And I've given you some examples of with Salesforce. This is one I really like. Kind of went into a little bit more details about it. But say, for example, you have information on the customer account or a contract or an opportunity, a lead, whatever your object is in Salesforce, you capture that information. What you can do is use Zapier to basically capture, build that up, and collect that information into variables. I use account ID as the example on this one. I use the account as the example on this one, where we can grab the account name, the account ID, account number, the owner, and grab an email. What I'm doing with this is really basic. The notification email that I'm using, or notifying email there, is actually an email that I created as a standard text field so that you can actually download this. Scroll all the way down here. You can download this site workflow from Exchange. Download it right there, import it into your SharePoint 2013 and 2016 environment, and then connect it to Zapier. Create your external start URL. Very easy to do. It's the how-tos here on how to do that. And you could, in less than 5 minutes, and that's one of the things that I was trying to tell in seconds, you could literally say, all right, this event happened, this someone updated an account or someone created a new account in Salesforce, and I wanted to trigger a workflow inside of SharePoint to send some email to someone. It could upload documents, it could actually move documents around, etc. Whatever your process may be, this can handle that, and it's all starting externally to SharePoint. It's starting inside of Salesforce, and something's pretty cool. That's a little gift to show you how that was set up. But really interesting use cases here. Definitely want to hear what you all have to say about it, so definitely tweet me about it. Also, shout out to Raphael. I know he was looking at this earlier, so definitely appreciate your tweet as well on that. So that is external starts of Zapier. They're making a lot of noise about it. If you go to zapier.com/zapbook/Nintex, or if you just go to Zapier and you type in Nintex, you'll be able to find out more about our integration with them. If I can give it a second to load, it should be showing up. You can also look at different processes, but here you can see all the zaps are available. I think there's 6 total, sorry. Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yep, 8 total that you can use. And the event from the Nintex side is it'll start a workflow. So grab your external URL, use it, let me know what you're doing with it. Would love to showcase you on another Hangout. So definitely let me know what you're doing on that and how that's running, how you're using it, and how it's helping you out. Again, it's just another way to do external start. You can use the REST API, you can use the URL that comes from the workflow, or you can use a Zap, which gives you another way to connect to it. If you have other options out there, things like Azuka is another one as well you can use for external start. But again, the idea is to make it as easy as possible for you to use the external start and to get your processes moving without necessarily having to write a bunch of code. And everyone loves that, right? Except for the developers that like to write code. Nothing against you all at all. I have to do it at times. Trust me, there are times when I really don't want to write code. So, but anyways, really cool. All right, so I'm going to stop saying cool. Another new update, something that is fresh and hot off the presses, is our Infragistics integration for the mobile workforce. And you might be like, well, what in the world is that? It's very simple. Infragistics works on, or they have an app that's called Share Plus. And the whole point of their app is to give the user, the ability to do or to see, interact with your SharePoint environment on a mobile platform, whether it be an iPad or a mobile device, an iPhone or Android. They have a SharePlus app that allows you to see, view, and interact with your SharePoint portal. It's a really good app, really useful app, and what we thought, it was they're a tech partner of Nintex, and one of the reasons they're a tech partner is they bring value to our platform and to our users by extending what we can do and giving users the ability to do more with Nintex. So I mean, it was a natural fit for them to do that, and it's a natural fit for us to work with them. But what we did is we sat down and thought about, how can we have a mobile app, and our mobile app allows you to use Nintex Forms, so offline storage, the ability to capture images and signatures, and the ability to brand that app as well for your organization. So that's our app. Their app does SharePoint content, SharePoint portals, etc. Well, you bring those two together, you have a SharePoint portal, and you have the forms. Well, that becomes a really good integration. But think about the integration from this perspective. You have Microsoft Office. So you have a Word document, and someone sends you an email with a link to a Word document, or sends you the Word document. If you click on Open on that attachment, if you have the Office app, it will open it up in Microsoft Word. Well, that's a native function because it's opening the document up in its native app. The same thing with the PDF. You can get a PDF reader, a QR reader, etc. And so you open the apps in a native one. The same thing with Maps. Well, if you think about it from that perspective, what we actually wanted to do is make your job a lot easier, enable you to do more, to see more, to interact more, and to use the functionality as best as possible. So their app gives you the context of your SharePoint portal. Say, for example, you want to do a leave request, or I had to use that one. Let's use a different one. You want to submit some information to HR for, then say HR is putting together some wellness thing, and you're wanting to sign up to do one of the wellness classes or whatever. If you're on your mobile and you come out and you find out, oh, well, you didn't sign up in time, you got one day to do it, or it's the last night to sign up, you're on your mobile device, you're interacting with your intranet, and you're looking at the events that are coming up. You click on it and you say, I want to sign up. If you have Nintex enabled on your portal, you don't want to have to go to a standard form or go to something else, or I don't know what you would do on the mobile device. You don't want to have to open up the Nintex form and say, okay, I'll fill out this form, then go back to the Share Plus form. No, you want to have a seamless integration between the two. So what we've enabled is the ability for you to click on, say submit or sign up for an event or register for the event. You register for that event. It'll open up the Nintex form for you, pre-fill content because it knows who you are from the Share Plus app. It knows what type of user you are, your email information, etc., whatever's stored in that app. It'll pass that information over to the form for you automatically. You can fill out any other additional details and hit submit, and it'll bounce you right back into the Share Plus app. This native integration, this use case for the integration gives the user a seamless experience between the two products, but enables the user to take advantage of, again, what Nintex offers with this mobile app. And so that's one of the things that we really want to promote, something that a lot of people don't really use mobile for yet, but we're banking on integration like this to help, again, round out that value of what Nintex can do for your organization, what SharePoint already does for your organization. Grabbing Share Plus in the mix of it gives you that portal experience on a mobile device and allows you to use that information in a timely manner as a mobile workforce. So there's a blog on it. There's a press release as well that was done about it as well. Talked to several people at Microsoft Ignite about it. They seemed really excited and looking to see how we can actually continue to update and provide more integrations like this with Nintex and have Exchange push a lot of those. So that's something else that you'll see coming soon. Hopefully, if I get around to it and work through it. We'll have an Exchange asset that allows you to download the SharePlus app from your mobile device. You can go to Exchange on a mobile device. It is mobile friendly, and you can find the SharePlus app, and then potentially also download the Nintex mobile app as well. So those are two things that will be available in Exchange relatively soon. Got to work through a couple of things to figure out how we can host that and get that to recognize the mobile devices correctly, etc. So things we're working on, but we're excited about that. At least I'm excited about it. All right, so let's see here. What else? What else can we talk about that happened at Ignite? Oh, the big one I'll talk about is sitting right there below me. Microsoft Flow Power Apps. I left off one. Logic Apps. That's there as well. Um, that there's been a lot of news, a lot of questions. Actually, let's see if I can find a question on the community. There was a couple of people that were asking questions about Power Apps and Logic Apps for Microsoft Flow in the community, and I think the answers are there, but I want to bring those up so that we can see them. Just give me 1 second. Nope, that's not what I think this is it. Yeah, I think this is it. Let's see here. So there was a question asked by somebody. I'll actually bring this over and show you. So there's a question asked by Eric Hazley. One of the guys has been very active in the community, and it's pretty good question. Something that we definitely should address and talk about, and not afraid to do that here. There's my mouse when I needed it. So does Nintex have any comment on the announcement of Microsoft Flow and how it impacts integrates with the Nintex workflow and Nintex forms? Um, Good question. Definitely a good question. And let's see if I can respond to this in a good manner. So, Microsoft Flow, what is it? Well, let's start with, and this is something I have to give credit to Dan Stoll and Josh Waldo for kind of giving me some insight, or I guess giving me a talking point to actually use. Didn't think about it this way, but let's just take a look at what we're dealing with and what is available, right? So when SharePoint first came out, we had SharePoint Designer. SharePoint Designer, and then you had the Visual Studio or Custom Code. But SharePoint Designer was what we used, and then InfoPath was a form. So you had SharePoint, InfoPath as a forms product, and SharePoint Designer as your kind of automation of some sorts product that was available. And then we have Nintex, and Nintex had workflow and forms. Well, over time, we saw the complexity of InfoPath, people doing a lot of good and a lot of bad with InfoPath, adding custom code to it, etc. And now we have InfoPath is going away over time. I think 2023 is when they projected to stop the support for InfoPath. And what Microsoft's doing now is saying, hey, we want to replace InfoPath with Logic Apps and Power Apps. And it's like, well, wait, so you're going to take one product and replace it with two products? Really? How nice. They've optimized it a lot. They've made it cloud friendly so that it runs more efficiently for the cloud, etc. So those are things that they've done. But Nintex is still there. Nintex hasn't changed. Nintex is enhanced, but it hasn't changed. We were pitted against SharePoint Designer at first, and it was like, okay, which is better, Nintex or SharePoint Designer? And hands down, Nintex was better. That's the reason why I use Nintex. It was a visual designer versus text, which it doesn't give you logic, it's just steps, and then hopefully the steps work. Well, if you think about it's really interesting if you think about it. Microsoft Flow is actually similar to SharePoint Designer with more limited functionality, which is kind of funny, but hey, everyone has to start somewhere, right? Um, it's more limited functionality than what SharePoint Designer used to do, but it's a similar thing of, all right, give me the steps of what you want, and we can execute these steps. It doesn't give you a lot of functionality, but it gives you the really basics. If someone uploads a new item, creates a new item, uploads a new document, send an email, send a tweet, notify this person, which is an email, or whatever. Like, do this. So if you really think about it, it's Microsoft Flow does this whole, if this occurs, then do this. If this occurs, then do this. If this occurs, then do this. And it doesn't have a lot of branching logic to it. It may say do this or this, but it's if it does this, then do this, which if you think about it, it sounds a lot like if then this, then that. Interesting, right? SharePoint Designer used to do some of the same thing. If this, then do this. If this, then do this. If this, then that. That's your comparison. What you can do with Nintex is actually say, well, run if this logic is the case. Do the state machine, run these different states, run these in parallel. You can do assign a task. You can do a whole bunch of more complex things. So Microsoft Flow has this function. It has this place. And then once you want to get into a more complex scenarios, definitely I would recommend using Nintex. But don't take my word for it, try it for yourself. Flow's in preview, so I think you can go out there and set it up. They have some pre-built templates that they say do different things or whatever. Try it. Try to do something in Flow, and then turn around, and if you have Nintex and 365, try to do the same thing. And I think you'll see a difference between what they offer as far as functionality. Not saying that one is bad and one is good, or one's ruler over the other or whatever. No, they have their places. But what I want to say is there's a lot that you can do with Flow in a very limited capacity, and there's a lot you can do with Nintex. And in matter of fact, you can do the same thing with Nintex. You can do it Flow in many ways. If you want to, basically, if a list item gets created, you want to send somebody a notification, you can do that. It's workflow. Simple. It's two actions, actually. Actually, it's one action. You start the workflow either manually or whatever, and then you send a notification to someone. That's pretty much it. So it's possible to do that with Microsoft Flow and with Nintex. The thing is choosing which one makes it easier for you to do what you need to do, and then also handling the complexities of what you really need from a full-on business process, not just one step in the business process. When it comes to Power Apps and Logic Apps, it's a very similar thing when you look at what you used to be able to do with SharePoint Designer and Visual Studio, and now what you can do with Nintex and Nintex connectors. So Power Apps and Logic Apps. So giving you the form capability is great. It's there, mobile. You can have something that's mobile friendly. We have the mobile app. I mentioned that before. But it gives you the ability to, with Power Apps and Logic Apps, you set it up and then you can kind of reuse this over and over and over. With Nintex, you have the ability to integrate it around so it has a full-on process that's managing, rather. And that's something that I hope that people start to see as more news and more updates come out about Flow or Power Apps or Logic Apps. What do you use and how do you use it, etc. If you want to dig in and try to figure out how to integrate the two, by all means, go for it. There are ways to trigger a Nintex workflow from Flow in some capacity. It's not a direct integration, but obviously there are ways to do it. The most common way, if you really think about it from a functional standpoint, is that when an item is triggered, when an item is triggered in SharePoint, for example with Flow, and you want to update something, you can just start. That's one. But you also can just have that Flow update an item, and then the workflow, Nintex workflow, can kick off from that. Very basic. But again, it's the idea is to, what are you trying to automate? How easy is it to automate? And what do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish from that automation to drive process? Don't automate something just to automate it. Automate it because you want to see some efficiency and productivity achieved, and therefore your automation comes through with that. So I hope that was a decent summary of that. I'll try to post this up there for you, Eric, to actually see. It's funny, Eric Hazley, to see when I finish with this, so you'll have that answer for you. But again, it's not necessarily that it's oh, use one or the other. It's finding out what do you need to use, when do you need to use it, and which is more efficient. But this also brings me back to the point of Nintex Workflow Cloud. A lot of people were trying to do a lot of things with connectors and things on-prem and trying to connect to other systems, and they were finding it difficult. What we've done is we've removed that difficulty and saying you don't need SharePoint to do a lot of that, but you do need the workflow capability, and here's the workflow capability in our Workflow Cloud platform. So with that being said, those are a couple of things that wanted to bring out about the Flow, the Power Apps piece of it. So definitely hope that that helps to at least address some of the concerns that were out there and what was available. with that, I will talk about some really cool stuff. This is really cool because it's something that we definitely should be mindful of. Something that, as you're out there, you're a partner or you're a user or customer of Nintex, something you should be aware of as well. Sorry, took a swig of tea. But let's look at this. So, Aragon Research. What do we want to know about Aragon Research? Let's see, where can I find it? If I can find it somewhere in my, give me 1 second, Nintex, somewhere around here because I saw it, news, and there we go. So, um, Aragon, similar to Forrester and Gartner, have been looking at, this whole process around how do you categorize technology or categorize companies or market leaders, and how do you categorize what's happening, where's the trends going, etc. And they're doing it. It's really cool to see that um, they're leading a charge to readdress change in what used to be this set industry or this set area of content or category of market leaders. I'll put it that way. Um, Business process management (BPM). A lot of people would try to put Nintex in that box, and it was like, well, we can do it. Our products can do it. Our platform can do it. You can use a form and a workflow, and you put it around some business process, and it'll automate it. So we can manage business process. But is that truly the sole purpose of the Nintex? No. You can also do web content management. You can do ECM, enterprise content management. You can do digital content management, media management. You can do a host of things. You can connect to other systems, and I just drew a blank on the different types of segments that are out there. So forgive me for that. But in theory, you can do a lot more than just business process management with Nintex. Well, we also engage and deal with customers, or what I'll say the consumer, the customer experience. Our product touches that because we interact. There might be one person that builds the workflow, but he sends it out to 10 people to interact with it from an approval process or a review or a task to do this action or do this whatever. So we have those things, and what Nintex does is we also interact with the customer communication. So dealing with customers, dealing with communicating, sending emails, or whether it be task or automation, some format there. We also deal with the CCM space as well. And as we talked to Gardner, Forrester, I've been involved in some of those conversations. We talked to them over the years. They're like, well, you kind of fit, but you don't really fit. You kind of fit, but you don't really fit. And it's like, well, we kind of do this, and they're like, you're in a industry, you're in a category of one. It doesn't really look good to be just one person doing it. It's like, but we're leading, we're doing something different, something new, something unique. So being a leader in one, there's other people that do it, but they don't necessarily do it as strongly or as much as we do. All that said, Aragon is actually coming out and saying, hey, let's merge some categories that seem to be muddied a little, and let's create a category that really makes sense. And workflow and content automation is that category. The research report that Aragon put out talks about this new category, talks about what workflow and content automation does, why it's a key part of digital business initiatives, why it's going to be a driver in digital transformation, as a lot of companies are looking to digitize more, to do more, to enhance what they're doing, to bring more productivity to their mobile workflows to their users, and how Nintex is a leader in that. Obviously, I'm biased, yes, but they're not biased. They're industry analysts, and they wrote the report, not me. So, with that being said, I will recommend that you go out there and look at it. I'll tweet about that as well. Really good information for you to see. It's free to check out, and something you can go to our website and find out more about. So that's Aragon. Really cool to see that come out. They also recently, I want to say within the past 3 months or so, also gave us some recognition for being a leader. Let's see if I can find it. Um, where is it? Hmm. I can't find it. It was another Aragon note that came up. Let's see if I can view all news and see if it's out there. Um, where is it when you need it? Be lovely to find stuff all in one place at one time when you need it. I can't find it, but they announced there was another announcement about it. But so be on the lookout on things that are coming from Nintex. One of the things that I do want to note that came up post Ignite, really huge. Seeing where this link is actually going to point me to. Let's see here, 1 second. Okay, that I hit the wrong button. Second. Okay, so two things, really cool. You know that we have workflow and forms in Office 365. Well, uh, at a Ignite conference, Nintex received again, which is awesome, the most business value SharePoint add-in for Office 365. But we also received the best user interface for SharePoint add-in in Office 365. And what those are doing is basically showcasing. It's coming off the backs of we received awards last year as the most used app in Office 365, and then the Microsoft Office and SharePoint. I'm actually reading this so I don't get it wrong. 2015 Microsoft Office and SharePoint Application Development Partner of the Year Award. Basically saying that, hey, your development efforts and what you're doing to drive usage and to drive users to do more with SharePoint on Office 365 is valuable, and we want to recognize it. This is off the hinges of that. It's basically saying, hey, your apps are really good and they're driving business value. Somebody should take note of that. They're driving business value. So, Microsoft says it. Must be some value to that, right? But no, I mean, really, our products are good, and a lot of customers. I mean, over 6,000 customers. A lot of people are recognizing that our products are good, and that, to me, is a very good segue into something else that I wanted to discuss. If you give me a second to find it, where did it go when I needed it? Right about here. G2 Crowd. So, as I had on a slide, G2 Crowd is another kind of industry review platform where you can go out there and find information on different types of products that you can use, software, vendors, etc. And it's a good thing to actually have a profile on there. It's another thing to be rated really high. And G2 Crowd, based on our reviews, and based on our products, basically said that we're a leader as of fall 2016, so as of now, we're a leader in the workflow platform category. And what that means is that essentially you, the users, the customers, the partners, have gone out and basically rated us and said you enjoy working with our products, you enjoy working with us, and we bring value to what you do. And that's something huge. I wanted to point it out because I want to see more people comment on it. I want to see more people write reviews on it. I mean, 113 is pretty good, but let's see if we can get some more and get more different types of roles. You have administrators, you have executives, you have consultants, you have analysts. Um, you have all these different people that are writing reviews. I want to see more reviews written from a lot of different people to really show the markets what Nintex can do and how people use it. And it's free. Sign up and do it. And you can find out. I mean, go out there and read. Like I said, I mean, I'm sitting out here looking at, and these people aren't paid, so don't think they're paid to do this. It's not. John, he said, Nintex history can create X amount of content, which is not good, but um, it's amazing when it comes to small and medium processes. So that's pretty cool. Looking at ease of use of the functions when creating a workflow and ability to edit the forms. Somebody else. Let's see what. I'm gonna skip just so you don't think that I'm just reading from the front. Let's see here. Nintex rocks. Easy to build forms workflow from a non-technical project manager. That's really cool. Let's see here. What did he say it was like? What did he dislike? The workflow designer is somewhat complicated. Well, we're improving that. The actions on the left, you drag and drop, you got to configure your actions. it's there. Once you get into the tool a lot more, it becomes a little bit easier. But the idea isn't to make it as simple because it still needs to be able to do some complex stuff. So we want to make it easy to use, but there is a level of complexity to making anything overly easy because then it becomes dumbed down and doesn't actually achieve what you want it to achieve. I'm not going to make a comment there, but I could about another product. Um, the visual side of the workflow creation is great. Also being able to see the workflow running in runtime. The thing he dislikes, I'm reading this one from someone that did it anonymously. He said, the only thing I dislike is it forces me to think about workflows in a different way than using SharePoint Designer. It's definitely not a bad thing per se, just something you have to get used to doing. It's change. Man, I wish I would have your name because I definitely want to quote that. That's actually not a bad thing. If you really think about it, SharePoint Designer, again, is text-based. If you look at if then this and that or if triple T, it's text-based. And what we are doing is bring a visual display to what normally would be text-based. And that's not a bad thing. If you really look at it, it's not a bad thing. It does force you to think differently about your workflow process. Because also, just because it's actually displayed doesn't mean it's going to run effectively. I've actually witnessed this, and this was actually quite bad. A workflow that had at least 20 loop statements, like nested loop statements. So one large loop, actually it was a large run if, and then it had like a couple of branches of run ifs, and inside the run ifs it was loops. And that's horrifying. But to the person that created it, it was how their mind thought about that process. Now, the great thing is that when you see something like that, you can quickly say, let's move this around. Let's take this loop out and let's see if we can build a logical flow here that repeats without necessarily having to do a loop or something like that, because then you get into safe looping issues and other things. But the visual display of it gives you that ability. If you're just looking at words don't necessarily correlate to that this is actually happening. And that's some of the things that happen with code, custom development, and with SharePoint Designer in the past, where you didn't really know the impact to the farm. You just knew this workflow is taking a long time to run, a long time to execute. Same thing can happen with Nintex if you don't build it properly. But in general, having a visual design kind of helps you to step back and look at this thing and architect your workflows in a better format. Some other things you can look at here is they compare us to what users like about it, the different things that are available, and they also compare us to other workflows as well, or workflow products as well. So really cool. Something that I would hope more people definitely get on here and place their comments. Let us know. Also use user voice if you are out there and you have some questions or comments or recommendations about features for Nintex. You can definitely use user voice for that as well, to send your comments to the product team, and they'll be glad to hear your thoughts about what they're doing from the roadmap perspective and when features and things may come out. So sounds good, right? It does sound good. All right, let's see if I covered everything that I was supposed to cover today. I think I did. Didn't really, like I said, I wasn't going to go into a lot of questions on the community because I wanted to do an update on Ignite. Also, a couple of things. I do have to do some due diligence because it just came to my mind. InspireX registration is open for InspireX. It's happening. InspireX 2017 is going to happen in February. We will be down in. Wow, I was about to say Los Angeles. No, we'll be down in Louisiana, New Orleans next year. So that's going to be just exciting, just to be there, be out to see the state and the city, see how everything's kind of recovering from a lot of the disasters that happened, but then also just see the economy that has been booming lately as well from a lot of new businesses coming into the areas. So that's going to be cool to see. Good to hang out with a lot of people from the community. This is our user conference, and it's InspireX. I'm looking for that now, so give me a second so I can show you that. But another reason, a big reason why you should come to InspireX is to hear the speakers, people like me. There we go. Alrighty, let's do this. So, if I can go to the right page, registration is open, yes. But InspireX conference. I will be there. I will have another session on Exchange. We're going to be demoing some things. It's going to be exciting to really start to like bring a lot of this into like reality for a lot of people as far as what the power of the platform and the different use cases, how partners are using it, how customers are using it, how we internally use it. Worked on a couple of workflows, business processes that normally, I mean, it takes a couple of months to develop, to run through some tests, whatever. Got them done in with Nintex and Office 365 using DocuSign and some other things to firm up some processes. Really cool, and took less than a week to develop. Actually, it didn't take a week. It took like 3 days, and then there was like some testing and things that had to happen. But the power of the platform, being able to showcase a lot of that in our own customer conference, customer and partner conference. It's going to be really great to see you there. So definitely go check out the registration details. I think the registration right now is $6.95. I think that's the cost. I have to go and find out. And the reason why I have to go find out is because I get to go. So I'm not necessarily paying for it. But you definitely should show up if you want to know more about Nintex. Register early. The early bird is going on now, and the price goes up. So register early. I definitely want to see you there. We're doing another session on Exchange, like I said, and there's going to be a couple other things about Exchange that's going to be happening, and it's going to be a big deal. That will be showing Nintex Workflow Cloud, showcasing Nintex App Studio, which is a new mobile app platform, and a couple other things. So really don't want to miss that. So definitely show up. Like I said, you can register at, let me see if I can get this thing right. Here we go. Here's some information about it. Oh, that's a timeline. That's great. Kind of cool. It shows you about it, where it will be, and some more information. We have the agenda coming soon, or as far as the different sessions that'll be available. I know that the marketing team is looking through those right now, trying to figure out the speakers and all the sessions, etc. So that content is going to be uploaded soon, but definitely something that you should definitely tune in for. So that was InspireX. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to share with you all really quickly. I'm going to wrap it up because I don't like to ramble, and rambling's not good. Next Hangout, talking about connectors. We'll be going through DocuSign, Salesforce, and a couple other ones. We'll bring up Zapier again to show how you can use the connectors and vice versa. But the point is to automate it, and I'll be looking at some questions in the community around connectors and seeing how we can help solve them. I can't promise this, but I may also do a preview of Nintex Workflow Cloud. So you don't want to miss next Hangout. Excited again. Thanks for joining me. Sorry about the no audio on the first one. We'll get that swapped out with this one. And really excited to, again, have you all a part of the community and to have you all as a part of the Nintex family. So with no further ado, have a good rest of your day or evening, depending on where you are, depending on when you're watching this. Again, my name is Eric Harris. You can follow me at eharris04, sending out nothing but quality content, tweets, and updates on different things in the platform, happenings around Nintex. And catch me next time on a Hangout here at YouTube Live, and we'll catch you then. All right, thanks a lot.